Namaste. Welcome, beautiful souls. So here we go, carrying on with the Tarot Avatara. I've decided to broadcast publicly today. For those of you that may have an interest in this deck or have never seen it before, we've been going through this deck in tremendous detail, and I also have created a journal for this deck, which is described below. It's available complimentary to Rose Quartz members. So if that's something you're interested in, you could join for a month and then go back to your Citrine membership. This is a journal that eventually will become more of a generic journal to accompany my deep dive series. So welcome. If you're new, I'm Sadhana. Hello. I'm happy to guide you through this this study. It's really, really something when a deck is so heavily themed, and trying to find a balance between allowing the tarot to emerge through the art and incorporating the story of the individual around whom this deck is centered, who is Frida Kahlo. Thank you so much, Clevis, and welcome to you. I had a lovely weekend with my family and partner. And today I'm back to work and doing readings and doing a couple broadcasts. So we talked about the minor sevens last week, and these are really difficult cards. And something else about this deck is that it does a lot of flipping and flopping between Waite-Smith inspiration and Crowley Thoth inspiration. The entire deck is inspired by the art of Lady Frieda Harris. And so we have this lovely cross of Lady Frieda Harris energy with Frida Kahlo energy, both dynamic women who were painting about the same time on this planet. And so it's just this really interesting intersection of energy, and the way that Gabi Angus-West chooses to interpret either the art of the Crowley Thoth deck or bring in the energy of Waite-Smith and the story of Frida and Diego. And down below as well, too, the Herrera biography is mentioned, which is an excellent biography, as well as a couple of film bios. If you're not deeply intimate with this very painful story. This is a deck of self-empowerment, healing, I would say Swadhisthana chakra pain. If you are working through anything in your sacral chakra, this is a really powerful deck for healing that energy. And so today we'll look at the minor sevens. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to look at the Chariot primarily. I might bring in some of the minor seven cards, and then we will look at two other cards that are connected through the number seven numerologically. In the Tarot Avatara journal guidebook, not the one that I created, but the diary that accompanies the book. Sorry, the diary that accompanies the deck. A lot of it is really done well from a deep, emotional, compassionate connection to of Gabi Angus-West reaching into the pain of Frida Kahlo. And a lot of it is hard to read, especially if you're reading a lot of it in one go. It's very depressing. However, this particular card is really, really strong, and I just like to read to you the diary from this today, because it reads so differently than many of the other cards. Frida was born in July, and what was changed was the year. So she changed her year of birth to align with the birth of Mexico, rather than her actual year of birth. But either way, she is Cancer, and Gabi's connected her to this card through her sun sign. In my fucking element today, the power of me multiplied by 3. Since the human race began for me as a small polio blighted child. I need to train hard to make some strength and learn how to win, to move forward and always improve. To grip hard with my Cancerian crab claws, to grasp at life, a thought, a future, and to never let go, to drag myself along. Certainly, it has used a lot of energy, but where I was weak, conversely, I became strong. Crippled legs make strong arms. Weak health makes an ironclad will. Weak people cast a golden woman. Weak prospects projected passionate dreams. Fragility has made me strong, competitive and unbeatable. I can and may well vanquish you. And so here Frida is in her power. Rather than armor, what she is wearing is, Gabi describes as a corset. And this is kind of interesting because her rebuilding of her body after her impalement that changed her life forever. She was bound and restricted and wore a corset a corset of sorts for a great deal of her life so that she could be in this world. And in this card, the corset takes on an energy much like a shaman would wear a bear cloak. It's all powerful. And we've got moon and moon on her shoulders. We have all of her inner light shining through her Swadhisthana chakra. So all of her, I don't know about the polio. I need to think about and I didn't take time to contemplate polio energetically. I didn't remember that she had polio as a child. But that if that comes up again, I will take some time to look at that. But her issue with relationships, with sister, with having lots of sexual partners of varying gender, with varying gender identifications, her journey with her fluidity of gender, her relationship with the love of her life. All of this is very Swadhisthana chakra, and the fact that she was pierced and impaled in her Swadhisthana chakra is just, it's so intense, intensely powerful. And that's why I think this deck, if you have issues with relationship, any sort of issues with your moon cycle, with the second chakra is loaded with associations. And if you're not familiar with ways to connect chakra with chakras, with the tarot, in more of a free association sort of way, I recorded a class. It's 8 episodes. It's for sale on my channel. Everything's on sale right now, by the way, if you're interested. It's all 25% off. What am I saying here? Lost my train of thought because I was doing this. Okay, it's really an amazing way to use the tarot for healing. And maybe Clevis is getting me back on track here. Oh, hi, Patrice. Hello. And when you have a deck like this that is so very, very intense, and you are willing to confront your challenges, your particular issues, this could change everything. And whether you do this with support, with a counselor, with some sort of a guide, whether you do this bravely on your own as a self-study. This is just, I can't say enough for the boldness of this journey. And so here, this is a particular Chariot card of healing the divine feminine within oneself. When I think of Cancer season, and this card is clearly a Cancer card. Hey Simran, I'm not doing readings today. I'm discussing this deck that you see on the screen. When I think of the Cancerian association here, and the association of Cancer with healing mother wounds, deep ancestral wounds, I think this also is a motivation for honoring what is presenting presently as something that comes from deep within. And I need to get back to my reels. I want to talk about my own healing journey, because I want to share the process of a real person, someone that you've seen again and again on YouTube, walking her talk and doing this work. But yeah, this is a Chariot card that is full of empowerment and could read as a straight up Chariot card, but it also says something much deeper. And I think it responds very well to the chaos of the minor sevens. It's almost like it takes the minor sevens, it reins them in, and it says, we're going to do this, and we're going to go forward, and we're going to heal this, and we're going to embrace that energy that lives deep within the sacral chakra. And isn't it interesting that the sacral chakra, the Swadhisthana chakra, has that root word of sacred? You know, if we heal, if we work with the sacred feminine, we have the power to shift so many things in our life. And this is the most important chakra to heal in every body. And so I think even though this might feel like a very feminine, personal, unidirectional deck, I think with the right guide, the right teacher, you could use this deck to heal at a very, very powerful level. So, the other cards that I want to talk about in connection with this are 16 with a reduction, so adding the 1 and the 6. This is called Blasted Tower, and then the Star. And these are not cards you generally see very often together as having common themes. So let's start with the Blasted Tower and its connection to the Chariot. The Chariot, with its lunar energy, Cancer being ruled by the moon, has a deeply feminine energy. The Tower card is Mars, and so it may have connections to cards that have a Martial Decan or Aries or Scorpio energy. And I particularly love the Scorpio association because this deck feels like a deep scorpionic journey. And have never looked at Frida's Frida's chart, but I'm sure she has some power hitting planets in Scorpio. So this Mars energy of the Blasted Tower breaks everything apart. And the way that the description in the guidebook is, it reminds me of the self-immolation of Shakti. When she was not recognized by Shiva's father, jumped into the fire, and the short bit of the story is that all of her bits and pieces, including her jewelry, her foot, the left eye, the right eye, the yoni, scattered all over India and Sri Lanka, I believe, as well. And it is a sacred pilgrimage to visit all of the temples that honor these different bits and pieces of the sacred feminine. And I have done one of these tours, probably visited 7 or 8 of these locations. It is intensely healing, intensely powerful. And the story of the self-immolation of Shakti is one of the divine feminine jumping into the fire. So that's where the water and the fire come together. There is a destructive quality, but it begins a deeply healing, powerful experience. And here in this card, Frida is blasted open, almost so she can begin to heal. And I think having these 2 cards come up in a reading together really speaks to the courageousness and the open-heartedness that is required in a healing journey, that it is first and foremost about you, and that all the other players in your story are simply mirrors and lessons for this journey. We need to, in a reading, keep coming back to me. What is this showing? How is this showing up for me? And what is this? How is this helping me to evolve and transform and let go? And let go. And then we have the another 7 in the major arcana of the star. And I just noticed here the wrapping on the foot. So later in her life, she had her lower leg amputated, or her foot amputated, which is a parallel to the 7 of Swords. So it's kind of clever how this comes together in this deck. And then I'm thinking about the polio, which I do need to research here. If we can embrace the energy of these other cards courageously, then maybe, just maybe, we will find ourselves landing in the oasis of the star. This place of, and when I think of the star, I think of silence. I think of silence. I think of, I don't know, like imagine lying back in a spaceship, like you're on a space odyssey, and it's just silent. And you lie there in awe of the cosmos. And there may be, I don't know, some kind of spiritual connection or energetic connection that just transforms everything within. And you have these deep, powerful moments of knowing. And when I think of the Aquarius journey, so this deck, we have to look at it astrologically because of its association with the Crowley deck and how important the Golden Dawn astrological correspondences are. And so that really feels like the dispersion of all of those bits and pieces, that cosmic journey. And allowing that cosmic journey. And those are not easy cards either. So if we're looking at Aquarius, we're looking at 5, 6, and 7 of Swords. 5, 6, and 7 of Swords. And so we search for meaning and truth and clarity of the mind on this cosmic celestial journey that is Aquarius. And it has a pull to Leo, to the fire there as well too. It's like all of these cards connect us to the power of fire and how we heal the divine feminine by embracing the power of fire. The star has an abundance of connections throughout the tarot. It can be reflected in the lamp of the hermit. It could be seen as the fire within in the strength card. There's lots of places where you might feel that light, that inner knowing, any sort of expression that, or any sort of illustration card that speaks to knowledge being the light of life. And here in this watery environment, this silent watery environment, there is healing. There is healing. And so ultimately, if you look at this card as hot, it's hot and fiery, and this one is cool and watery. What connects all these cards is this balance of fire and water. So the Chariot is often seen as a fiery card of moving action and going forward and courageousness and embracing the archetype of the charioteer. And yet it has hope and vision and new opportunities to it. But we need to have on either side of us a balance of fire and water. And it's so cool that these cards, the other 7 majors, 7, like connected to the number 7, also help to emphasize that story. So what you might want to do is look at another deck and pull out these 3 cards, 7, 16, and 17, and see if you can find that peace or vision to deepen your understanding of what's going on here. Okay? All right, so where we're going to go from here is to the minor 8s, and we'll carry on with minor 8s, major 8s, minor 9s, major 9s, and then we're going to sort of begin to pull everything together, and we will do a deep dive. We'll have a really good look at the court cards a little bit down the road. This is the longest deep dive I've done with a deck, and I think mostly it's inspired by the time and the reflection of pulling together a lot of the courses that I have been building over the years. And I think that I'm getting to this place where I need to make sure that people know where my resources are, how to reach out for me, where they can study the tarot with me. And I'm always going to come back and respond to comments, and if people request other videos, I will always be here to do that. But I'm really sort of winding up the bulk of my content in 2024. So yeah, so that's Another reason why I do have a sale on right now, and all my courses are on sale. And if there's any way I can support your tarot journey, let me know. Please reach out. You can always message me through my website. So thank you. Thanks for being here today. Take good care of yourselves, and thank you all for the birthday wishes. Namaste.